So, quick disclaimer here. This is being recorded, this specific section is being recorded after I did the main episode, which I wrapped up like 10, 15 minutes ago. So, I didn't realize until after I finished recording the hour, 25-minute plus episode that for some reason, Sound Recorder, which I'm using to, record this, the default app on Windows, did not switch over my microphone to the wireless USB mic that I'm using right now that I'm talking into. Instead, for some reason, even though it had basically been plugged in all day, Sound Recorder, and I had also used Sound Recorder earlier in the day to record some other stuff for a YouTube video that I was editing. Sound Recorder instead decided to switch to my computer's integrated mic, my laptop's integrated mic. I have a Lenovo Legion, which is not good at all. It's a really bad microphone. So unfortunately, I did not want to re-record the entire episode because I thought I did well for this episode. I enjoyed talking through this episode this past time. So what you're going to get is not a very good quality episode in terms of the audio quality. It's, the actual content I think is good. It's just the audio quality is not the usual, so to speak. I'm usually good at catching this. I thought it was fine, but I missed it. I had this happen one time before when I was recording scripts for my Thrawn summary video on my YouTube channel, where I spent 40 minutes recording a script, and I didn't realize after that until, it's the same thing that happened here. So yeah, that I'm just not going to re-record it since it's, it is what it is. And yeah, so that's why this episode is going to sound a little different. Anyway, I'll get out of your hair and go have fun listening as best you can to the episode here in just a sec. Goodbye. Welcome to Play-by-Play Review. I'm your host, Henry, and we're going back to baseball once more. I am not happy with the Orioles at the moment. They just choked one away today against the Royals, but I guess it's fair play for what happened last night against the Royals because that game was stupid. And yeah, it's been a season for the Orioles so far, not in the best way possible, but they're still well within contention and dealing with a ton of injuries. But there are also 29 other teams to talk about. It's been a busy day for me. I've recorded and posted a YouTube short. I've edited and scheduled a YouTube video for tomorrow. I streamed as well, and now I'm recording a podcast. So I'm getting everything possible, it feels like, for online content creation pretty much. I wrapped up Super Metroid, finished that game off on stream, so that was pretty fun. 7 weeks pretty much. It doesn't feel like it was 7 weeks, but I just did a stream once per week, and this was part 7. So yeah, that was it for Super Metroid, and now I'm here recording. Well, I haven't moved at all, but I'm recording for this one here. So we're gonna dive straight back in. I'm going to remember, in fact, to list out the standings because I forgot to last week. I will do that this time. But yeah, we'll do the recap games going back from last Wednesday to today. There's still 6 games. No, 5. Can I count correctly? I can count. It's 5. 5 games going on at the moment. And well, the Rockies and Padres game is going to end in theory very soon. The other ones are all kind of middle of the game, so they will probably be wrapping up by the time I get to today, since I got 6 other days. I guess 5. 1, 2, 3. Gotta count again. 4, 5. No, 6. Yeah, 5 days. Yeah. Anyway, still got other games to go on. So yeah. Flashback to last Wednesday, the 15th of April, and the Orioles Diamondbacks, where this was game 3. Yeah, this was game 3, right? Of the 3-game series, because they started on Monday. Yeah. So the series was tied 1 apiece between the two. The Orioles had made that epic comeback on Monday night. I was in the car listening to that game, driving. So that was that. Then D-backs got one back on Tuesday. And this game would actually go to extra innings. The Orioles would lose this one 8-5 in extras because they do tend to struggle in extra innings. I feel like they definitely struggled a lot last year. Tyler Wells would give up a 3-run home run in extras to Adrian Del Castillo, and that netted the Diamondbacks a win there. So that dropped the Orioles to 9-9. The Orioles have been basically hovering around 500 for a while now. They went on a bit of a run, then went on a bit of a skid. It's like very up and down for them so far this season. And this was very frustrating. I was at work when I was watching this one, and it was very, very frustrating indeed. The Red Sox and Twins. Red Sox would avoid the sweep here and kind of avoid getting off to a really, really bad start instead of going 6-12 there. I mean, at this point they were 7-11. Still, really not a good start for the Red Sox, but they got one here. Trevor Story had 5 RBIs in this game, including a home run. Red Sox would win 9-5 here. Simeon Woods Richardson got the loss. He is not off to a good start. 0-3 on the season with almost a 6 flat ERA. Not good there. Though the Twins as a whole, at this point, they're 11-8, and they've still been managing pretty well at this point. So just one of those tough losses there. The Cardinals and the Guardians would play. This was, I think, a series finale. Usually a lot of these were series finales. So yeah, this was game 3. The Cardinals would win the series, winning the last 2, winning this one 5-3 specifically. Jordan Walker had another hit. He had a really long hitting streak for a good while at this point. And the Guardians, well, they would play a nice series against the Orioles after this, but and also kind of hovering around 500 like most teams in the American League. It's very interesting how the American League is shaping up. The Cubs would absolutely dominate the Phillies 11-2. Nico Horner had 5 RBIs. Shota Imanaga had Shota Imanaga got the win here, got his first win of the season. And the Phillies not going well right there. They would lose that series to the Cubs, giving up 21 runs. 21 runs in the last 2 games, and 28 runs overall in that 3-game series. The Tigers and the Royals would, I believe, wrap up series here. Did they go? Yeah, no. Oh, no, this is middle of 3, actually. The Tigers winning this one as well, so they would win the series in 2, winning this one 2-1. Royals, again, most teams in the AL, and the Royals were a bit lower, actually. They're actually one of the worst teams in baseball record-wise at the moment, falling to 7-11 here. Tigers went to 9-9. Royals just really struggling to score runs so far this season. I might have mentioned this last week because I saw the stat last week, but it was something that through the first 10 games or something like that, or like first 15, Bobby Witt Jr. had reached base like 39 times and scored on like one of them or something. It was some insane stat where Bobby Witt Jr. was getting on base and just no one else behind him was hitting. Like Vinny Pasquantino, who's behind him directly in the lineup, has been off to a very poor start offensively, and really the rest of the team, outside of like occasionally Michael Garcia, they've struggled a lot. No, they didn't struggle today, unfortunately, but it is what it is. The Reds and the Giants would play. Reds would advance to 11-7 here. Giants falling to 6-12. So Giants really struggling to start the season. Sal Stewart had 2 3-run home runs and 6 RBIs total. He's one of the many rookies that have been succeeding very well so far. So this was the middle of 2 in this game. Reds winning the first 2 against the Giants there. The Pirates and the Nationals would end in a 2-0 victory for the Pirates. Carmen Mlodinsky. A lot of letters in there. Something Polish descendant, I think. He pitched a nice game there. This was middle of 2 between the Pirates and actually no, 3-4. Never mind. With the Pirates going up 2-1 on the series there against their National League opponent. Not Dodgers. Why did I say the Dodgers? What? The Nats would fall to 8-10 at this point. The still not a super bad record, all things considered, for the Nationals there. Though I think Since then, they've kind of floated around 500, all things considered. The Angels and the Yankees, this was game 3 of 4, I believe, and this was another Jordan Romano just collapse, though I think he was not helped out all that much by his defense either. The Yankees win this one in the bottom of the ninth, 5-4. This series was ridiculous. Like, it was just a lot of high power. Jordan Romano was off to a really nice start to the season because I had him on my fantasy team, just turned into the worst guy possible, and was really struggling in New York. And it was just a really strange series overall between these two teams. And the Yankees would go up 2-1 in the series here, advancing to 10-8 as well. The Angels would fall to 9-10. So again, if you're an American League team, chances are you're probably around 500, with a couple of teams here and there being a bit better or worse. The Braves and the Marlins would play with a 6-3 win for the Braves there. Raisel Iglesias got the save. He's actually now on the injured list. There's a lot of closers right now that are on the injured list. I know Johan Duran for the Phillies, Edwin Diaz for the Dodgers. They're also on the injured list, and I know there's more. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. But the Braves, this was the 6-3 one, so they would take the series against the Marlins, winning these second and third games of the series. And the Braves, not bad right now. They were 12-7 at this point, and they kept on winning after this. The Rays and the White Sox would play. The White Sox would lose this one 8-3. Rays off to a pretty nice start. White Sox not so much. They would fall to 6-12 at this point. Rays at this point were 10-7. This was the 8-3 one. So this was game 2 of 3. Rays winning the first two. Though they've gone on a bit of a skid as of late, but we'll get to that when we get to that. The Brewers and the Blue Jays would be a close one, with the Brewers snapping a 6-game losing streak and winning 2-1 over the Blue Jays. So the Brewers would advance to 9-8 at this point. Blue Jays fall to 7-10. Blue Jays, one of the teams that have struggled early out the gate. How they've been doing? Yeah, still struggling a little bit. The Brewers got off to a hot start, then went on that 6-game losing streak, but have turned it around since. And really, everyone in the NL Central has been kind of crazy at the moment. The Astros and Rockies would play with an Astros 3-1 victory over the Rockies. Rockies falling to 6-12, Astros advancing to 8-11. This was 2 wins in a row against the Rockies for the Astros, so they would take the series there in 2. But it has not been a very good season so far for the Astros overall. Rockies just kind of vibing up at this point. They've actually turned it around slightly. I say slightly, but it's impressive. I'll get to the series that they had in a moment for the Rockies, but it's the Rockies. Don't expect them to be good. The Padres would win 7-6 over the Mariners here. A Jackson Merrill walk-off. He's having a really nice start of the season. The last 3 games, he's had like -2, -2, and -3 points for me in fantasy, so I'm not happy about that. But this was this extras? I don't think so. No, this is holy crap. This is a 5-run 9th inning, bottom of the 9th. That's crazy. I know Andres Munoz has not had a good start to the season at all. But I didn't realize it was that bad. Okay, he's had 3 saves, 7.88 ERA though at this point. So it's better the last couple of days. He's won his last 2 games, or like the last 2 games he's pitched in, they've won. But yeah, I know Andres Munoz, who's been very good over the past couple of years. That not good there. And I feel like I remember seeing that on Reddit, and everyone's like, "Yep, that's the Mariners for you." They have it's not been their start of the season overall, though. I feel like they've won a couple of the last few. A few here and there. They're still not spectacular. Really, like the whole of the AL West has been a little disappointing. The Angels actually, I don't know if they're leading at the moment. Are they? I'm just checking the standings real quick. No, they're not. They're 1.5 back at the moment. But yeah, the AL West feels very flipped compared to how it usually is. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Speaking of the AL West, the Rangers and Athletics, they would play here with an A's win. Shea Langoliers and Wilson. What is your first name? I want to say it's Logan Wilson. No, Jacob Wilson, right? Yeah, Jacob Wilson. They both had homers or hits because it doesn't say he's a homer. Um, no, it wasn't homer. Okay, I think it was like home. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So Shea Langoliers, who's off to a really nice start. Jacob Wilson also had home runs. Uh, Athletics at this point they were top of the AL West at 10-8. Rangers at 9-9, which just kind of shows how the season's been going so far. That the A's were leading the division about 3 weeks into the season. This was 3 of 4, or third game of 4, with Rays, or not the Rays, the A's taking it, or not taking it, but going up 2-1 in the series there against their division rival. Yeah, the A's off to a pretty nice start to the season overall. Then finally on that Wednesday, I swear I'll say the right thing the first time one of these days. The Dodgers would top the Mets here, winning 8-2. This was a Shohei Ohtani win on the pitching mound. He's off to a really, really good start as a pitcher. Like it's annoying how good he is as both a batter and a pitcher because he's just gonna hog all the awards, and it's like, why are you just so good? I don't understand. Like I know why, because he just like A, he's like naturally talented, and B, he's like his entire life is just dedicated to baseball. But it's still like impressive. This was also lost. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lost 8 in a row for the Mets. Spoiler alert: it has not gotten better for the Mets. So yeah, they fell to 7-12 at this point, and it has. Yeah, it's not going any better for the Mets at all. So we move on to Thursday. This was an off day for a lot of teams, actually. The Orioles and the Guardians. The Orioles have basically, they've now played 9 of 10 straight in a row. This is right in the middle of their long stretch of games of 10 in a row. They played the Guardians in Cleveland. The Guardians rookie pitcher Parker Messick took a no-hitter in through 8 straight innings. Into the ninth, the Orioles got their first hit. They actually got 2 runs here, though the Guardians were at this point up 4, so the Guardians would win 4-2 here. Shane Baz has struggled a little bit so far in the season. Didn't have his best stuff today either. Gave up 4 runs today, unfortunately. The O's should have won this because they're up 5-4 at this point. I can't believe Rico Garcia gave up a home run. Like, freaking, I'm still not happy about today. Anyway. So yeah, the Guardians would win here against the Orioles. Orioles fall to 9-10 at this point. Guardians advance to 11-9. This was a really rough series for the Orioles, all things considered. The Nats would take one over the Pirates here, winning 8-7 in extras. I guess they would hold on in the bottom of the 10th, as this was in Pittsburgh. So the teams would split that 4-game series 2 apiece. James Wood got the winning RBI in the 8-7 victory there. Pirates committed 4 errors in this game also. That's not good. But still there at 11-8 at that point. So still solid overall. The Giants would actually win one over the Reds, winning 3-0. Landon Roop, I think it's Rupp. It might be Roop, actually. You can check my stream in the Orioles-Guardians game from last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. I figured out the pronunciation there, but he got the win. He's off to a pretty nice start. 3-1 through this one, and I think he's going to get the win today because I know he pitched today, and right now the Giants are winning over the Dodgers actually. So there's that. No, I am facing Roop. I think it's Roop. I am facing Roop in fantasy at the moment, so I wouldn't mind the Dodgers putting up some runs there. But anyway, this was the Giants staving off a sweep there, but they still lost the series. Then next up, the Tigers would win over the Royals 10-9. This was a rain delay, and Lucas Ursag blew the save. He's off to a really bad start. Riley Green, I guess, had 2 home runs. Oh no, doubled home 2 runs. Turned dyslexic there for a sec. I don't think I have dyslexia, but doubled home. I thought it was like 2 home run. Anyway. Riley Green, I guess, had a 2 RBI double with 2 outs in the 9th. Tigers would come back to win that one there. I guess that was at home. And then that was a series sweep for the Tigers there, going to 10-9 at that point. The Angels would crush the Yankees in this one. Max Fried had a pretty bad start here. Mike Trout had another home run. I think it was first time ever at Yankee Stadium that an opposing hitter homered in 4 straight games, I think is what it was. It was like a new record there. Mike Trout had an insane series, and the teams would split that 4-game series 2 apiece. Yeah, Angels 10-10, Yankees 10-9 after this game. The Yankees have been more fortunate as of late. The Brewers would win 2-1 over the Blue Jays. This was one where they bunted, I think, 3 straight times in like the bottom of the 9th to win. It was really funny because like everyone was getting upset about it on on Reddit and stuff like that. So the Brewers would take that series in 3, winning the second and third games there. Blue Jays fall to 7-11 at that point. Brewers advance to 10-8. The Rays would win over the White Sox in this one. Sir Anthony Dominguez, I guess, blew the save there, I think, from the looks of it. Brian Baker got the save. Rays would put up 10, or not 10, 3 in the 9th inning. Not sure where I got the 10 from. The Rays would advance to 11-7. Again, Rays off to a nice start there for the season. This was a series sweep as well over the White Sox. The Rays have faltered a little bit as of late. The White Sox, comparatively, it's been better. They're winning today by a lot, 8-2 at this point today. Munetaka Murakami has 4 straight home runs at the moment, or has homered in 4 straight games. And for like a new record or something, he's been playing insanely well. Next up is the Rangers and Athletics. This was a Rangers victory, 4 runs in the 9th inning to beat the Athletics 9-6. Thank you, ESPN, for the little recap there. So that was a 2-2 split in that 4-game series between those AL West rivals. And they both wound up leaving that series 10-9. So I think that put the Rangers on top over the Athletics by like tiebreaker or something. Cal Quantrill got the win there for the, I'm pretty sure it's Cal. Yeah, Cal Quantrill got the win there for the Rangers. The Rockies would win over the Astros here. Hunter Goodman got a home run. He had a really nice season last year. I know that. I think he was an All-Star last year, actually. So the Rockies avoided the sweep there against the Astros. They would advance to 7-12 at that point. The Astros fall to 8-12. So the Astros definitely don't want to have your record be very close to the Rockies. So that kind of is how the season has started for the Astros. And finally, the Padres would win 5-2 over the Mariners. Walker Buehler got the win there for the Padres. Luis Castillo got the loss for the Mariners. I know the Mariners also, not off to a great start. Mason Miller also got the save here. He's off to legitimately one of the best starts ever for a closer. He's already up to 8 saves on the season, has not given up a run, has walked he's walked 1 batter so far and struck out 25. Is that, yeah. He's walked 2 batters. Okay. He's walked 2 batters overall, struck out 27 through 11.1 innings pitched, given up just 2 hits as well. And I think most of them have come over like the past couple days. It's ridiculous, just absolutely absurd what the stuff Mason Miller is doing at the moment. So the Padres would win 5-2 there over the Mariners. Padres 13-6 at this point, and kind of cruising there. So they would sweep the series over the Mariners, and they're having a good start to the season. It's unfortunate for them that the Dodgers are having an even better start to the season, but still, it's pretty good there. So Friday, we get to the Orioles and Guardians game here, and this is one I streamed where the Orioles would, again, really struggle to hit early on and to struggle to score. They would give up a grand slam in the bottom of the 7th inning. This was one where a lot of hits for both teams. A lot of hits for Cleveland early on, but no one was able to score. And then Cleveland puts up grand slam in the bottom of the seventh off of Anthony Nunez. And then Orioles in the top of the eighth proceed to put up 6 straight, including a Jeremiah Jackson 3-run home run. And the Orioles would hold on to win. Rico Garcia got the win. He was, like, outside of today, he was literally perfect on the season. And, like, he gave up a couple walks, but he had been hitless again up till today, and he gives up a solo shot to tie the game. But he was really good. Ryan Helsley got the save here. He's off to a really nice start, of course, except for today because he wasn't a safe situation, but he gives up the game-losing run there. Yeah, it's like the one time the Orioles bullpen kind of needed to be really good. They just didn't, and they'd been like the strong suit. Anyway, I'll stop. So the Orioles would go up 10-10 at this point. Guardians fall to 11-10, and so that would be it for the Orioles in that series. They really struggled after that. The Red Sox win 1-0 over the Tigers in extras. This was really, really poor offensive showcase from both teams. And it was like the fact that it had to be won in extras after, like, it was a shutout through 9 innings for both teams. And yeah, so this is the start of a 4-game series between those two teams. Red Sox would take the opener there. And it would definitely, the offensive power for both teams would increase. Well, mostly for the Tigers, but kind of both teams did better offensively. The Cubs and the Mets would play. This was the start of a 3-game series, I believe, for these two teams, with a Cubs 12-4 victory. Kodai Senga got the loss for the Mets. He's off to a really bad start. Mets actually did have 14 hits on the day, but only scored 4 runs. They also had 2 errors. It was and it didn't get any better for them. They would fall to 7-13. Cubs advanced to 10-9. Braves would win 9-0 over the Phillies. Austin Riley had 2 home runs. Is that Taijuan Walker? Yeah, Taijuan Walker got the loss there. He's 1-3 on the season, or was 1-3. Still is 1-3 actually on the season. The Phillies, really bad start for them. They were 8-11 at this point. They are not doing much better, I don't think, either. Yeah, no, it's actually been really bad for them. So yeah, this was the start of a 3-game series between these two NL East rivals. The Rays and the Pirates would play. Pirates would win this one 5-1. O'Neal Cruz had a 2-run home run. And this was the start of a 3-game series between these two teams. Off to good starts, both of them. Pirates advanced to 12-8, Rays to fall to 11-8. But again, two teams you might not have expected to be, pretty good to start the season. We're duking it out there in Pittsburgh. The Giants would win 10-5 over the Nationals. Heliot Ramos had a 3-run home run. This is a Logan Webb win. He's off to a pretty rocky start so far. 2-2, 5.40 ERA after this, and I think that should, yep. So he's probably going to be starting tomorrow. I just accidentally exited out of my tab. Whoopsie daisy. So I gotta hang on. One moment. There we go. Yeah. All right, we're back. And this was, the 10-5 win for the Giants and the Nats. This was the start of a 3-game series between those two teams. Giants 8-12, Nationals 9-11 after that game. So two teams who have not gone off to great starts. Like the Giants, or the Nationals, you kind of predict. Giants a little bit more surprising, though I don't think too many people have them being like really good, but like one of the like definitely bottom 10, maybe even bottom 5 at this point teams in baseball, though I think they've gotten a little bit better as of late. It was a little surprising for the Giants there. Definitely, I think bottom 5 for the National League at least. Just because the National League is like really top heavy at the moment and just overall doing very well compared to the American League. Speaking of the American League, the Royals and the Yankees would start a 3-game series, and this was a Ryan McMahon, I think 3-run home run. Or it might have been 2-run home run, 2 or 3, but he was off. McMahon had been off to a really bad start this season, but he got the Yankees the win here. I was actually streaming. I think I was streaming Super Metroid at this point. Or no, I was recording for World of Warships, Warship Wednesdays, the episode that's actually I just edited today and is going up tomorrow. I was recording when this game was going on, and I think I cut that part out when I might have left it in. Anyway, Yeah, the Yankees would win 4-2 here. Yankees, one of the better teams and I think they're actually the top team in the American League at the moment. If not, they're one of the top. Let me actually standing. So how are we doing league wise? Yes, it is the Yankees leading the American League by one game over the Guardians at the moment. And yeah, the Giants are fourth from last in the National League, only above the Rockies, Phillies, and Mets. Anyway, back to the schedule. Yep, that's Friday. So Brewers and the Marlins, they played a game. Brewers would win this one 7-5. Tyler McGill got the save. You are Tyler McGill. Oh no, Trevor McGill, different McGill. Tyler McGill, what team is he on? I forget. I don't know if he's still pitching either. But anyway, Brewers would win this one, start the 3-game series there, 7-5 for the victory. They would advance to 11-8. Marlins fall to 9-11. But also, Marlins not off to a horrible start either. They're still missing Kyle Stowers. I don't think he's back yet. And that's like one of their big bats at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see how the Marlins goes. I know Liam Hicks, he's still playing very well. But we'll see what happens there for the Marlins as we move on. The Reds would win 2-1 over the Twins. Eugenio Suarez got 2 RBIs, two-run double there for the Reds to win that one 2-1. That was in the 4th inning. So good pitching performance there, honestly, for both teams. Reds would advance to 12-8, so like another NL Central team off to a really nice start. And the Reds have just continued to be good. So this is the start of a 3-game series between these two teams. Then the Cardinals and Astros would play with a Cardinals 9-4 victory there. No, Nolan Gorman, who I honestly did not know exists, he had a 3-run home run. This was start of a 3-game series between these two teams as well. Cardinals 11-8 at this point, Astros 8-13. Interesting that the Cardinals played 2 less games than the Astros. Astros had a long schedule so far to start, I guess, or at least maybe more of the Cardinals. I don't know. Interesting there. But yeah, again, NL Central, just really good. The Dodgers would win 7-1 over the Rockies. Dodgers at this point advancing to 15-4, beginning a 4-game series actually between these two teams. Tomo Sagano got the loss there, but Rockies would actually turn it around slightly after this. The Angels would, yeah, where did that starter come from? Okay. Angels would win 8-0 over the Padres there. Jose Soriano got his 5th straight win of the season, advancing to a 5-0 record with a .28 ERA. Like, holy crap, Jose Soriano. It's just insane. Some of his stats are just like groundbreakingly good at the moment. Don't know if it's going to just continue to be that good, but I mean, what a 5-game start for him. And this was start of the series there between those two teams. Angels advanced to 11-10, Padres 13-7. Though the Padres would turn it around after that. The White Sox would win 9-2 over the Athletics. Munetake Murakami had his first career grand slam as the White Sox. Basically, when he does well, the White Sox are probably going to do well. And he's been doing well as of late, as this is the start of the 3-game series between these two teams that are have been perennially terrible over the past couple of years. The Athletics 10-10 at this point, White Sox 7-13. Then the Rangers and the Mariners would play. So the Rangers going from one division matchup to another. Rangers would win this one 5-0. Brandon Nimmo had a home run in this game. Jacob deGrom had a decent performance. Logan Gilbert got issued the loss there. So Seattle starting pitching has not been their usual good self so far this season overall. So this, started 3 games between these two teams. Then finally, the Diamondbacks and the Blue Jays would play. This was a 6-3 win for the Diamondbacks. Michael Soroka was off to a pretty nice start there. Got the win. Paul Sewell got his 7th save at this point there. And yeah, this was the first game between these two teams. And so the Diamondbacks 12-8 at this point, Blue Jays 7-12. So the top 3 teams in the NL West as well, the Dodgers, Padres, and Diamondbacks all playing good baseball at the moment. It's just the other 2 teams, the Giants and the Rockies, not as much. So Saturday, what was I doing Saturday? I don't remember. I think I was working that day. Oh no, that was when I was flying up to Boston. Never mind. I know what I was doing Saturday. Yeah, I was flying up to Boston that day for the day to go see a friend. Um, so I missed most of these games live, unfortunately. So this is very much I'm going to be reading off the recaps because I didn't really have much chance to pay attention. So the Tigers and Red Sox played. This was a Tarek Skubal victory. He advanced to 3-2 on the season. So after a pretty rough start for Skubal, I think he lost his first two. He's won the last couple. Kenley Jansen got the save. So the one-time Red Sox, Kenley Jansen, how long did he play on the Red Sox? I forget. But now on the Tigers. Let's see. He was on the Red Sox for 2023 and 2024. Was before that, so he was Dodgers for 12 seasons from 2010 to 2021. Then Braves for a season, then Red Sox for 2 seasons, then the Angels for a season, or I guess like part of the season in 2025. I do not remember being on the Angels at all. And now on the Tigers. I think he's now third all time in career saves, and that's where he's going to stay because like the top two are like so far ahead of him. Number one, I'm pretty sure is Mariano Rivera. I forget who number two is. I'm sorry, I'm not the best in terms of like historical baseball stuff, but I know it's like top two are like I think he has like 500 or something like that, and like the next person has like 700. It's a lot. Anyway, so Kenley Jansen got the save there. Tigers would win that one 4-1 in the second of 2 games there. So the Tigers would even that series up at 1 apiece. The Guardians would win the third game 3 of the 4-game series against the Orioles as Gavin Williams struck out 11 batters for the Orioles. Dean Kramer got the loss. I think he gave up a 3-run home run in this game on like some miscommunication with Samuel Basallo. It was weird. The Orioles they were really struggling in Cleveland. And the Guardians only had 3 hits in this game, but still scored 4 runs. It's just, I don't like the AL Central when the Orioles played them. They're just really annoying. Except for the White Sox. The Orioles play the White Sox well. Like everyone else, they're really annoying. Speaking of the AL Central, the Royals would lose to the Yankees 13-4 here. Cody Bellinger had 2 home runs in this game. The Royals, not the Orioles. The Royals had a really rough time in New York going up against the Yankees there. The Yankees would advance to 12-9 at this point. Royals falling to 7-4 team. They're one of the worst teams record-wise in baseball at this point. The Reds would win 5-4 against the Twins, winning in I think not in extras, just in 9 innings. But they would win in the top of the 9th. So I guess blown save there by Cole Sands. I'm assuming that's Cole Sands, the Twins closer, got the blown save there. The Reds winning that series in 2 over the Twins, advancing to 13-8, though they would still play one more game after that. The Rays, actually I'm skipping ahead a game. The Cubs would win 4-2 over the Mets, winning that series in 2. Jameson Taillon got the win there. Carson Kelly had a home run there. Mets got their 10th straight loss at this point in the second of 3 against the Cubs. The Rays would win 8-7 in 13 innings. Really, this was 13 That's crazy. This game went 13 innings. Rays would win, score 2 in the 13th. Pirates only scored 1. So this was an 8-7 in 13 innings victory for the Rays there. That's crazy. I didn't realize that went that far. That was a Cedric Mullins home run. That's crazy. Hey, good for you, Cedric. And this was the Rays evening up the series against the Padres. They would advance to 12-8. Padres fall to 12-9. The Giants would win over the Nats. Both teams going to 9-12 after this game. Also an extra innings game there. This is actually a 12 inning game. That's crazy. So the Giants win with an RBI single in the 12th inning there. That 7 runs, 16 hits, 1 error, 6 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. That interesting stat line there. The A's would win 7-6 over the White Sox in another extra inning game, actually. This one went to the 11th on a walk-off there for the Athletics. Max Muncy got the sac fly. And when Max Muncy's on I didn't realize he was on the A's. Okay, interesting. So that was evening up the series there for the A's and the White Sox. The Brewers would win over the Marlins with a Bryce Terang 2-run homer, winning 5-2. Sandy Alcantara, who got off to a really nice start to the season, got the loss there, so he's 2-2 now. This was 2 straight wins for the the Brewers in Miami, so the Marlins would lose that series there. Cardinals would win 7-5 over the Astros, 3 home runs in the game for the Cardinals. Lance McCullers Jr. got the loss, and this was one of the 2 7-5 victories. I think, this was the second of 2 for the Cardinals there. Cardinals would also, at that point, go on a 4-game win streak. And Astros, meanwhile, free falling a little bit. The Braves would win 3-1 over the Phillies. I don't think this was not an extra innings game. No, this is not. Chris Sale had a really nice game here. 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 run, 7 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Christopher Sanchez got the loss. I guess he gave up 3 runs there for Philly. And the Atlanta bullpen would hold on. I guess this was before Raisel Iglesias went down with an injury, I think. Where'd it go? How did I lose? No, because that's Friday. That's why. It's supposed to be on Saturday. And I guess this was this the start of a series between these two then? No, this was middle of this too. Maybe they had off Friday or something. I don't know. Anyway, there's actually a Ranger Suarez save. Never mind. Maybe Raisel Iglesias pitched, but anyway, my guess is Ranger Suarez is probably going to be closing games out for a while because of Iglesias' injury. The Mariners would win 1 over the Rangers. They would stop their kind of little losing skid there, and their 4-game losing streak, winning 7-3 at that point. George Kirby got the win, Nathan Eovaldi the loss. Andres Munoz got his 2nd save of the season there, which is interesting because it's like 4 runs, but I guess maybe a bit more than 1 inning. Anyway, and they're counted as a save there on ESPN, so I will tell you it's a save. At that point, Rangers 11-10, Mariners 9-13. Next up, the Dodgers and the Rockies. This will actually be a Rockies victory in, I think, the 9th inning. Rockies would win this one 4-3. No, they scored in the 6th inning and then held on pitching-wise. This is at home also for the Rockies, so nice little win there. Dodgers fall to 15-5. It's still very much the best team in baseball at the moment. The Diamondbacks would win 6-2 over the Blue Jays. Jeff Hoffman got the loss there, so I'd love to see that, because I don't like Jeff Hoffman. And this was the Diamondbacks taking that series in 2 games. And they advanced to 13-8 as well at that point. Then the Padres would win 4-1 over the Angels. Mason Miller got yet another save there. Ramon Laureano had a 2 RBI night, as well as Fernando Tatis Jr. Padres advanced to 14-7 at that point, and even that series up at 1 apiece. Then we move to Sunday. Orioles would lose 8-4 over the Guardians there. Jose Ramirez had 2 home runs in this game. Trevor Rogers' last 2 starts for him have not been very good. And the Orioles, once again, just not great at scoring runs. It's a really frustrating series to watch. They would fall to 10-12 at that point. Guardians advanced to 13-10. The Tigers would win 6-2 over the Red Sox there. Taking that series over 2-1 at that point, but that was a 4-game series, correctly. Tigers would win 6-2 at that point. Framber Valdez got the win there. He's turned things around a little bit. Dylan Dingler also had a 3-run home run. He's had a really nice last couple of games as of late. I've had him on my fantasy team as like a rotational guy. He's been putting in some numbers there. The Yankees would sweep the Royals, winning 7-0 in Game 3 of that series. Aaron Judge and Ben Rice both had home runs. Cole Reagan's got the loss there. Overall, Kansas City's starting pitching staff has been good, but Cole Reagan's has not been included in that, really. He's 0 for 4 with a 6 ERA at the moment. Ryan Weathers, he had a really nice game there for the Yankees. Nationals would win 3-0 over the Giants there. Andrew Alvarez got the win there. I'm not sure. Are you the starting pitcher or are you relief pitcher? I don't know. I think you are a relief pitcher. No, you're a starting pitcher. That's what it says. So has not given up a run yet. Maybe he got called up. I don't know. Nats fans, please let me know. They also had 3 errors in that game, but still did not give up a run. Interesting. Now Andrew Alvarez shines in relief, so I guess he was a relief pitcher, but they listed him as a starting pitcher. But anyway, Giants go scoreless there, but they still won that series, winning the first 2, losing the third. Giants 9-13, Nats 10-12. The Pirates would win 6-3 over the Rays. Brian Reynolds had a nice game there. 3 RBIs. Mitch Keller also pitched well. Shane McClanahan, not McClanahan. Shane McClanahan got the loss for the Rays, and that was a series victory for the Pirates, winning the first and third games of that series. The Marlins would avoid a sweep against the Brewers, winning 5-3. Jacob Mizrowski got the loss there. Pete Fairbank got the save. Is that Eury Perez? Yeah, Eury Perez got the win for the Marlins. So they, at that point, advanced to 10-12. The Reds would win over the Twins, sweeping them in 3 games, winning 7-4 back on Sunday. TJ Friedl had a 3 RBI double in the 9th, as the Reds would win that one there. I guess Twins, it was a safe situation, but they would take the lead there, I guess. So it would have been 4-3. They actually blew it there in the bottom of the 9th, as Twins would tie it up, go to extras. Then it was a 3-run 10th inning. I just closed ESPN again. Dang it. 3-run 10th inning for the Reds there to win 7-4. Give me one moment to get back to Sunday's scores. A couple more days to go. All right. It's the Cardinals and Astros. This would be another Cardinals victory. So this was a series sweep for the Cardinals, winning 7-5 again in 10 innings as well. So another extra inning game played over that weekend. Astros fall to 8-15. Cardinals 13-8. Astros 4-game losing streak there, though they would win yesterday. They'll lose today. But not a good season start for the Astros whatsoever. Cubs would win 2-1 over the Mets. This was a Nico Hoerner sac fly off of Craig Kimbrell to win 2-1 for the Cubs. Mets lose their 11th straight at this point, getting swept by the Cubs in that series. There's some questions about why Nico Hoerner was not intentionally walked, I believe. It's not been good for the Mets at all. Mets 7-15, Cubs 12-9 at this point, or at that point. The Rockies would actually hand the Dodgers their first set of consecutive losses so far this season, as they would win this one 9-6. It's like the first 4 losses by the Dodgers had been sporadic. The last 2 to the Rockies had been, in a row. But again, this is a 4-game series, so the series is not over. But the Rockies win 9-6 there. So interesting that the Rockies were the ones to do it, of all teams. Mickey Moniak had a home run. And yeah, what else can you say? It's the Rockies. It's just doing things. The White Sox would win 7-4, taking that series over the Athletics, winning the first and third games there. Munetaka Murakami had a home run. This was, I think, the second of his current 4-game homer streak. And again, yeah, if it's Murakami doing well, then the White Sox are probably going to do all right. Sir Anthony Dominguez got the save. White Sox 8-14, Athletics 11-11 after this game. Padres would win 2-1 over the Angels. And Mason Miller did his usual stuff again. Combined 2-hitter for the Padres there. They'd only give up 2 hits, only 1 run. So that was pretty good for them. Gave up 1 run in the 7th there. let's see. This was I think a series sweep for the Padres over the Angels. No, they would win the second and third, so they would take the series there. Angels fall to 11 and 12. Padres 15 and 7, so that's pretty good. Just barely behind the Dodgers. The Mariners would win 5-2 over the Rangers. Brian Wu got a pitched a nice game there. Mackenzie Gore got the loss for the Rangers. Andres Munoz got another save, so he was up to 3 at that point. And the Mariners would take that series, winning the second and third games of said series, advancing to 10 and 13, so turning things around a little bit. Rangers fall to 11 and 11. The Blue Jays would win over the Diamondbacks, staving off the sweep there, winning 10-4. Kevin Gausman got the win for the Blue Jays. And they had been on a 4-game losing streak at that point, so they turned it around for a moment there. Ryan Nelson did not have a good game at all. Kazuma Okamoto had a home run. Overall, it was a good day for the Blue Jays there. All right, let's kick things into overdrive for this last stretch here so I don't go too long. Finally, the Braves would win over the Phillies. I think that was a series sweep. Yes, it was, winning 4-2 there. The Phillies fell to 8 and 13 at this point. Braves 15 and 7. Michael Harris II had a nice game, had a home run and 3 hits overall in the game. Raisel Iglesias got the save. I think it's going to be his last one for the next couple weeks, since again he's on the injured list. And yeah, Braves and Phillies, 2 very different trajectories at the moment between those 2 teams. Then Monday, it was the Red Sox and the Tigers wrapping up their series, with the Red Sox evening up that series 2 apiece with an 8-6 victory there. Garrett Whitlock got the win. Aroldis Chapman with the save. And Red Sox pull it back to 9 and 13 at this point. Tigers 12 and 11. And again, 9 and 13 doesn't sound great, but with how tight the American League as a whole is at the moment, it's not the worst thing in the world for the Red Sox. But they did not play well today. I know that. They played the Yankees, and it did not go great for them. The Orioles would win 7-5 over the Royals. This was in 11 innings, I believe. It was 12, actually. It was 12 innings. The Royals would strand 15 runners, hit 14 hits, strand 14 hits, strand 16, score only 5. The Orioles, I believe, had only at least, there was either 1 or 2 hits going into the top of the 9th. I think they had 1 hit going into the top of the 9th, and then basically got 2, like on their last strike as well, to tie the game at 1 apiece, because it was 1-0 going into the top of the 9th with Kansas City leading. Lucas Urseg blew the save there, and the 1 run took it into the 10th. Neither team scored in the 10th. Both teams scored 1 in the 11th. And then Leo Taveras had a grand slam in the 12th to break it open. What's his name? Cameron Foster did give up a 3 RBI double in the bottom of the 12th, but he did hold on to win. Just a stupid game of baseball. The Orioles would win that one 7-5 in 12 innings. Anthony Nunez got the win there for the Orioles. He's off to a really nice start overall. It's just, baseball's dumb sometimes. The Astros would finally pick up a win, winning 9-2 over the Guardians. So they snapped their 4-game losing streak there. And they would advance to 9 and 15. Guardians fall to 13 and 11. The Reds would continue their winning ways, beating the Rays 6-1. Got there eventually. And this was win 4 in a row for the Reds, who have been on a bit of a tear as of late. The Marlins would win 5-3 over the Cardinals, so the Cardinals would run into a bit of trouble there, as they would start a series between those 2 teams. Their 5-game win streak was snapped by the Fish, of all teams, and Marlins would slowly crawl back they're slowly attempting to crawl back to 500 at this point. Pete Fairbanks got the save there for Miami, in Miami as well. The Braves would win 9-4 over the Nationals, starting that series out between those 2 NL East rivals. Nats would fall to 10-13. Braves 16-7 at that point. Why is ESPN having problems loading now? Jake Irvin got the loss there for Washington, and that was win 6 in a row for Atlanta. So they, again, really hot start for the Braves. All right, not necessarily start because we're almost 4 weeks into the season now at this point for baseball. So hot stretch there for Atlanta, I should say. And meanwhile, another NL East team, the Phillies, would lose again, losing 5-1 to the Cubs in that start of the series there. Aaron Nola got the loss. And yeah, the Phillies, it's been tough so far for them. This was loss, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lost 6 in a row for the Phillies at that point. The Dodgers would cap off that 4-game series winning 12-3 against the Rockies there. So they would split that series at 2 apiece. Jose Quintana was issued the loss there. 12 runs on 15 hits for the Dodgers. Rockies did have 11 hits, but couldn't quite convert them all that much. So the Dodgers would advance to 16-6 at that point. Rockies 9-14. The Blue Jays would win 5-2 over the Angels. Dylan Cease got the win there. Jeff Hoffman with the save. This was start of the season there. Those two are actually still playing at the moment. It is, where is it? Bottom of the ninth, actually. Oh, hang on a minute. I am actually going to pay attention to this real quick. Bottom of ninth, bases loaded, 1 out. Oswald Peraza currently up to bat for the Angels. I assume Jeff Hoffman is pitching at the moment. I'm looking at the game cast. Jorge Soler, Joe Adell, and Mike Trout are currently on base. So quick play-by-play here because this is actually pretty. I do want to pay attention to this. So I don't know how long this is going to last, but yeah, gonna extend this episode just slightly to cover the end of this game real quick. No matter how it goes. So not seen a pitch yet, but Peraza currently 2 for 3 on the night with has scored a run, has also struck out swinging. Okay. And let's see, who is pitching? Does it say? Doesn't say at the moment. Oh, wait. What happened to Peraza? Oh, it was a pinch hit. Okay. Yohan Moncada just pinch hit for Oswald Peraza. So I guess he's a lefty. Again, my guess is it's Jeff Hoffman pitching. Let's see if I go here. Yeah, Jeff Hoffman is pitching. That was a. They're showing that. Yeah, Yohan Moncada is pinch hitting for Oswald Peraza. So ball 1 outside on a splitter from Hoffman. And struck out the first batter of the inning. He's also given up a hit and I guess 2 walks maybe. No, I think he. I'm actually not sure how bases are loaded at this point. But anyway. They switched it to a strike looking. So it says it's outside. Maybe it did clip the zone and they ABS challenged it, and it was actually in did hit the zone. I guess that's what it was. Ball 1. Next pitch 2 is a ball low on a slider. At least according to the game cast at the moment. Is that going to be challenged? I don't. Let's see if I can. No, that's fine. I don't need to pull up the TV broadcast. Anyway. So let's see. So Zach Neto 0 for 4, Mike Trout 1 for 4. Does have a single in the game. How did the Angels score the runs? Vaughn Grissom. That's how you pronounce his name, right? Had a sac fly. Then is that Eloy Jimenez? No, Yohan Moncada RBI single. Makes it 4-2. Bases are still loaded on pitch number 3. The Angels are not done yet. Not done yet in the slightest. Nolan Shawnewill is up to bat. He is 1 for 3 on the day. Grounded out, single to center, or single to right. RBI single as well. So that was how it scored there in the 5th inning. And then he struck out swinging in the 7th inning. Lefty, so my guess is they're going to keep him in. And then so Jimenez, sac fly, Sosa, 2 RBI double, and Jimenez RBI single. They're in the 6th, and then the 8th inning for 2 of them. Wonder if I have like a pitching mound visit here. So, because I want to go back and read out some of the scores. Because there was one last game that I needed to read out, but this is also like very close at the moment. Very, very close. Blue Jays are still projected to win, 68.8% at the moment win probability. And a double play will end it. Like a double or even a single, potentially. A single through the outfield could potentially tie it up for the Angels. Obviously, home run would win it for the Angels. The winning run is at first, tying run at second base. Let's see. What is your first name? Jimenez. Andres Jimenez. Okay. He's had a nice game so far for the Blue Jays, I guess. Or no, different Jimenez. Hang on a minute. There's 2 Jimenez. There's Eloy Jimenez. He was he's having a good game as he is 1 for 2 with a walk and a sac fly, and then has that RBI single. So it's still just saying that Nolan Shawnoel is at bat. So either don't know if it's a pitching change. It is a pitching change. That's why. So they're taking Jeff Hoffman, the closer, out. Bringing in Varland. What is your first name? Lewis Varland. Does not have an ERA at the moment. It's 19 strikeouts. That's pretty good. To pitch to Nolan Shawnoel. My guess is he's a lefty, I would assume. We'll see. So anyway, yes, slightly longer episode at the moment just because of this. Hey, it's a good move there by John Schneider, as it was a ground out double play to end the game. Blue Jays win 4-2. All right, back to the scoreboard. That sucks. I was hoping the Angels were going to win that one. Anyway, back to the scoreboard. I was missing one game. That was the Athletics and Mariners, I believe. Athletics would win that one 6-4. And the start of, I assume 3-game series, start of a series at least, that second game is actually still going as well. Athletics currently up 4-2, top of the 8th. So Athletics 12-11, Mariners 10-14. Joel Kuhnel, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce his last name, got the save there for the A's. That does it for Monday. Now, today, well, technically yesterday at this point, because it's now 12:05 a.m. on Wednesday. But the Tuesday slate, the Yankees would win 4-0 over the Red Sox. This was never mind, there's not a Cam Schlegel start. I thought this was, but this was a Luis Heel start. Never mind. Red Sox, once again, really struggling on the offensive side of the ball. And the Yankees would win that one there 4-0. Advancing to 14-9 atop the American League. Red Sox 9-14, close to the bottom of the American League at this point. The Royals would win 6-5 over the Orioles. I kind of covered that already. Lucas Urseg got the win there. Ryan Helsley got the loss. He's actually, funnily enough, 0-2 on the season, but he has like 6 saves, I'm pretty sure. Did he have 6 or more? Yeah, he has 6 saves at the moment, but this was not a very good game for him. It's both of his losses have been coming in away games when the game is tied and giving up the game-losing run there. And this did have Adley Rutschman return from injury, and Kobe Mayo had a 3-run home run, and Adley Rutschman had a 2-run home run there, so that's how the Orioles scored their runs there. The Blue Jays, as I just said, beat the Angels 4-2, so the Blue Jays 9-13 at this point. Angels 11-13. So weird how the Blue Jays have played 2 less games than the Angels at this point, but they've taken that series, or at least if that series is 3 games, they've taken that series, winning the first 2 there. Athletics currently up 4-2 over the Mariners in the top of the 8th inning. So if that score would hold, the Athletics would advance to 13-11. Mariners fall to 10-15. So that would be interesting there. I think the Athletics would move into first place of the AL West. The White Sox and Diamondbacks are currently playing. White Sox up 8-2 over the Diamondbacks. Munetaka Murakami had another home run in this game. And this is the start of the series between those two teams. So if this score were to hold, the White Sox would advance to 9-14. The Diamondbacks would fall to 13-10. Batting right now, Corbin Carroll 0-for-3 with 3 strikeouts. That's not a good night for him. Then the last game that is currently ongoing is the Giants and the Dodgers. Giants up 3-1 over the Dodgers. And the first of three, I assume. Let me actually check real quick. It is, yes, first of 3 over the Dodgers at the moment. Should that score hold, the Dodgers would fall to 16-7, Giants to 10-13. I'm sure the Giants would really love to hold on to win here, since getting a win over the Dodgers is a rare occurrence at the moment these days. The Guardians would win 8-5 over the Astros. This was game 2 of 3 in that series. At least I assume it's 3 games. It does not tell me there. This is, yes, in fact, 3 games. So they would, Guardians would even that series up there, advancing to 14-11. Astros 9-16 as their current record at the moment. Reds would win 12-6 over the Rays, advancing to 16-8. Who had that on their bingo cards to start the season? Reds 16-8 through the first 24 games, 24 games on the season, and that is 2 straight wins over the Rays for the Reds there. The Brewers would win 12-4 over the Tigers, advancing to 13-9 there. This was the start of the series between those two teams. Tigers fall to 12-12. Cardinals would win 5-3 over the Marlins. Cardinals advance to 14-9, Marlins 11-13. This was game 2 of the series there. Cardinals even it up at that point. Chad Paddock got the loss there. He's 0-4. Chris Paddock, not Chad Paddock. I'm thinking of Chad Patrick, not Paddock. So Chris Paddock, who's 0-4 on the season with a 6.38 ERA. Not great at the moment. Riley O'Brien for the Cardinals got his 7th save of the season as well. The Nationals would win 11-4 over the Braves, advancing to 11-13. They would even that series up there. The Twins would win 5-3 over the Mets. Devin Williams just completely choked it there for the Mets. He's off to a terrible start for them. Twins would score 2 in the 9th. I think Devin Williams actually walked in the 5th run there, and the Mets didn't hit at all for the last 2 2/3 innings or something like that. It was crazy. Let's see, any change in score at the moment? No, between those 3 games that are still going on. Still 3-1, still 8-2, still 4-2. Okay. So yeah, Mets now lost 12 straight in a row. They are 7-16, bottom of the barrel pretty much of the league. The Cubs would win 7-4 over the Phillies. Phillies also right down there. Shota Imanaga got the win. Caleb Thielbar got the save. This was 2 straight in that series against the Phillies, 4 straight in a row. They won 4 or 5 against the Phillies so far this season, have the Cubs. So I guess they're getting their series, both all their games against the Phillies away or done with early are the Cubs. They're 14-9 now. The Rangers win 5-1 over the Pirates, advancing to 12-11. Pirates falling to 13-10. This is the start of a series between those two teams. The Padres will win 1-0 over the Rockies, and this is actually not a Mason Miller save, so he might have been resting, is my guess. Randy Vasquez got the win there. Padres 16-7 at the moment. That is very impressive. This was start of a series there for those 2 NL West teams. Then I was about to say, and finally, the Blue Jays or the Angels, but that game just happened, so I don't need to cover that. So, in fact, that's it for the games at the moment. The Giants are in the top of the ninth now, so I guess they're trying to close that game out. A's Mariners top of the eighth, 2-on, 2-out for, I guess, the Mariners. I guess the Athletics are batting at the moment. And then White Sox and Diamondbacks just ended the eighth innings, still up 8-2 for the White Sox. So, all right, let's do standings before I forget, and then I'll go into stats, and then we can leave it out there. So, American League East belongs to the New York Yankees at the moment at 14-9. Rays 2 games behind them at 12-11. Orioles 3.5 games back at 11-13. Blue Jays 4.5 games back at 9-13. And I think, let's see, are they counting that? The most recent win? Hang on. No, so actually their Blue Jays are now 10-13, so they are, I guess, 3 games back. That's my guess. The math adds up there, maybe either 3 or 3.5, but I think it should be 3 games back of the Yankees there. And then the Red Sox 5 games back at 9-14. The AL Central belongs to the Cleveland Guardians at the moment. They are 14-11. Twins 1 game back at 12-11. Just in terms of I don't know, tie breaks and stuff. Who knows? But Twins 12-11. Tigers 1.5 games back at 12-12. White Sox 4.5 games back at 8-14. Then Royals 5.5 games back at 8-16. They are currently the worst team in the. Actually, both those teams are the 2 of the worst in the American League record-wise. The AL West is a tie right now between the Rangers and Athletics. They're both at 12-11. Angels are 1.5 games back at 11-13. Actually, they should now be at 11-14, right? Yeah, so they are probably 2.5 games back is my guess now at 11-14. Mariners also 2.5 games back at 10-14. So maybe the Angels are just 2 games back flat. Who knows? And then the Astros are 4 games back at 9-16. They're down there with the White Sox and the Royals for the worst teams. The Red Sox and the Blue Jays also, I guess not just the Red Sox, are also kind of down there, still at single-digit wins. Over in the National League, the NL East belongs to the Braves at 16-8. The Marlins are 5 games back at 11-13. Nationals also 5 games back at 11-13. Phillies 7.5 back at 8-15. Then Mets 8.5 back at 7-16. So the 2 worst teams in the National League are there in the NL East. One sec, gotta sip some more water. The NL Central, which has turned into the greatest division in sports apparently, belongs currently to the Cincinnati Reds at 16-8. The Cardinals are 1.5 games back at 14-9. The Cubs have the exact same record. The Brewers are at 13-9, so they're only 2 games back. And then the Pirates at 13-10 are currently 2.5 games back. So the Pirates would be like a half game back essentially of the Yankees, who are the best team in the American League. They're last in their division right now. Like, that's just crazy. Just how it is sometimes in sports. Then over in the NL West, no surprise, it's the Dodgers at 16-6, though they might lose at the moment. And they would actually probably fall to or get tied with the Padres there. The Padres are only half game back at 16-7. The Diamondbacks are 3 games back at 13-9, though they're probably going to fall to 13-10 soon enough. The Giants 9-13, 7 games back, but they're probably going to advance to 10-13, depending on if they blow it or not. Then the Rockies are sitting there at 9-15, 8 games back. They're just kind of chilling. So now we go to statistics, I think is what I want. Yes. So batting average, it is Andy Pages, who still, I think, leads the league with 370. He plays for the Dodgers. Vlad Guerrero Jr. for the Blue Jays is second at 354. Xavier Edwards for the Marlins, 348. Yordan Alvarez for the Astros, 330. And then Nico Horner for the Cubs at 326 is your top 5. I'll just keep doing hitting stuff and then go to pitching stuff. Home runs, it is Yordan Alvarez who leads the league leads MLB with 10. For the Astros, Aaron Judge for the Yankees with 9. Max Muncy, wait, hang on. It said Max Muncy was on the A's, but he's on the Dodgers. Why did it say he was on the A's? Now I'm very confused. But Max Muncy for the Dodgers. It has 8. Actually, a couple of guys with 8. Kyle Schwarber for the Phillies, Jordan Walker for the Cardinals, um, and then also Munetaka Murakami for the White Sox. He might actually have 9 now. I'm not sure if that's updated or not. Ellie De La Cruz for the Reds, James Wood for the Nationals, Ben Rice for the Yankees, and Sal Stewart for the Reds also all have 8. A couple of guys at 7 include Mike Trout, Brandon Lau, Gunnar Henderson, Shea Langoliers, and Dalton Rushing. So a lot of good power so far in the league. RBIs belongs to the RBI lead belongs to Yordan Alvarez, so he's leading the league in homers and RBIs. He has 24. He's actually tied with Sal Stewart with 24. Nico Horner for the Cubs has 22. Drake Baldwin for the Braves also at 22. Andy Pages at 21. Hits is Xavier Edwards with 31. Drake Baldwin also at 31. Yordan Alvarez and Nico Horner and Andy Pages at 30. Anyone else at 30? Let me check. Actually, a couple guys at a couple guys at 30. And when I say a couple, I just mean one, and Chandler Simpson for the Rays. Then stolen bases, which is the last hitting category listed, is Jose Ramirez for the Guardians at 11, O'Neal Cruz for the Pirates, and Nazem Nunez for the Nationals at 10. Jose Caballero for the Yankees at 9, and then Jazz Chisholm also for the Yankees at 8. Let's see. White Sox now up 10-2 in the top of the 9th over the Diamondbacks. I think the Giants game just went final, so yep, they won that one 3-1 over the Dodgers. So good there for the Giants. Pitching leaders for baseball, Jose Soriano and for the Angels and Aaron Ashby for the Brewers both have 5 wins. Chris Sale and Michael Soroka, Sale for the Braves, Michael Soroka for the Diamondbacks at 4. George Kirby, and I'm sure probably a lot of other guys. Yeah, there's a lot of guys at 3. I'm going to not list them all off because there's a lot of guys at 3 wins. George Kirby pitches for the Mariners. He's just the one listed at 5 right now, but there are a lot of guys at 3 wins currently in baseball. ERA, I think this is for mostly starting pitchers, not relievers, but ERA leaders for starting pitchers, Jose Soriano with .28. Yeah, that's just ridiculous. Michael Wacha and Seth Lugo, both for Kansas City. Wacha with a flat 1, Seth Lugo 1.15. They, I think, pitched back-to-back games pretty much. I know it was Lugo pitched yesterday, Bubic pitched today. Never mind. Michael Wacha, I think he pitched Sunday. Never mind. Anyway. Bryce Elder for the Braves at 1.5. Then Christopher Sanchez for the Phillies at 1.59. Saves, it is Mason Miller with 8 for the Padres, Riley O'Brien for the Cardinals, and Paul Sewald for the Diamondbacks, both at 7. Then Emilio Pagan for the Reds and David Bednar for the Yankees at 6. I'm sure there's some others as well at 6. Ryan Helsley for the Orioles. Actually, he's the only one else at 6. It's actually less people with high save numbers than I thought coming into this. Anyway, strikeouts, it is Dylan Cease for the Blue Jays leading baseball with 44. Jacob Mizorowski has been dethroned. He's now sitting at second at the Brewers, or for the Brewers with 42. Gavin Williams for Cleveland, who struck out 11 against the Orioles back on Saturday, has 40. Jose Soriano, 39. Christopher Sanchez, also 39. Let's see, is there anyone else at 39, or is it just those 2? It is just those 2. From the looks of it. I think Nolan McLean for the Mets is actually right behind them at 28. Or 38, not 28. Then finally, quality starts. A lot of guys tied at 1 with 4 quality starts. So let's see. Is it, actually, a lot of, yeah. So Chris Sale for the Braves, Michael Wacha for the I almost said Chiefs, but different Kansas City team. The Royals, Max Fried for the Yankees, Mitch Keller for the Pirates, Seth Lugo, also the Royals, Framber Valdez, Tigers, Jose Soriano, Tarek Skubal, Tigers, Soriano, Angels. I just said him a bunch. Brian Wu for the Mariners, and then Yoshinobu Yamamoto for the Dodgers, all with 4 quality starts. Let's see. Strikeouts per 9. Let me actually look at that real quick. Dylan Cease At 15.4, Jacob Mizorowski, 14.2, Christopher Sanchez, 12.4, Gavin Williams, and Mackenzie Gore, 12.1. Who's leading WAR right now? Let me actually conclude with WAR leaders. For pitchers, it is Jose Soriano at 2.1, Parker Messick for Cleveland at 1.6, Seth Lugo 1.5, and let's see. I'll do that there. And then who's leading in holds? Eric Zabrowski for Cleveland has 9 holds at the moment. And who pitched the most innings? Because I'm just doing a whole deep dive for stats today. Sandy Alcantara has pitched the most at 35 and a third innings. Max Fried second at 31 and a third. Same with George Kirby there. Jose Soriano at 32. Fried at 33.1. And then Jose Soriano at 32.2. Let me go over to batting now real quick because I want to see WAR. Let's see, OPS leaders. Ben Rice actually leads OPS at 1.214. Jordan Alvarez second, Sal Stewart third. Let's see. I got who leads the league in strikeouts? It is James Wood who leads the league in strikeouts with 36. Matt Wallner for the Twins at 35. Hunter Goodman for the Rockies also 35. Kyle Schwarber 34 for the Phillies. Trevor Story 33 for the Red Sox. Let's see. Total bases. RBIs. Who leads the league in triples? Corbin Carroll with 3 for the Diamondbacks. Doubles, it is Taylor Ward for the Orioles with 12. He's off to a really nice start. Also got his first home run, I think 2 days ago. And then batting average was, Andy Paez. And then WAR to wrap it up. I might check fielding WAR real quick. But anyway, Jordan Walker has 1.9 WAR. He leads all batters. Nico Horner for the Cubs second, tied with Andy Paez at 1.7. Kevin McGonigal actually for the Tigers. And Jordan Alvarez tied at 1.6. And quick check into fielding. Is this errors? Nick Fortes for the Rays. Freddie Fermin for the Padres. Logan O'Hoppe for the Angels. And Edgar, this is just catchers, never mind. Edgar Cuero for the White Sox have 3 errors. Defensive WAR, it is Salvador Perez and Luis Torrens who have 0.4 WAR at catcher. I'm just gonna not go through all the positions. All right, I'll just do defensive WAR for the position and just do the top guy. So it's Freddie Freeman. For the Dodgers at first base for D-WAR at 0.3. Cole Young at second base for the Mariners at 0.5. Third base, it is Matt Chapman and Ke'Bryan Hayes for San Francisco and Cincinnati at 0.6. Shortstop, it is Bobby Witt Jr., not surprising there, for the Royals at 0.7. D-WAR. Left fielder, it is Cody Bellinger, that's a little surprising, and Chandler Simpson, and also Wyatt Langford for the Yankees, Rays, and Rangers, and also Jake Mangum for the Pirates at 0.4 WAR. Center fielder, it is Pete Crow Armstrong at 0.8 WAR for the Cubs. Right field, it is Wilyer Abreu for the Red Sox at 0.6 WAR. And then pitching defensively, no one has any D-WAR for any starting pitchers or relief pitchers or any pitchers of any kind. So anyway, White Sox up 11-2. Athletics still up 4-2. They have 2 on in the top of the 9th. So most likely those scores will hold, and that will do it for this episode. I don't know why I was so aggressive with that, but there's a lot this episode. That's all for this one. Next podcast episode will be tomorrow. Will be the AFC West recap to wrap that 8-episode series up just in time for the NFL draft, which is on Thursday. I'm going to be streaming that on my YouTube channel, Henry the Host. It's all one word. You can look it up on YouTube. You can find this podcast there as well. I will be streaming night 1, and then after that, I will be streaming on Friday for the Orioles and Red Sox game. Once again, I just finished streaming Super Metroid. Next week, I'm going to start streaming most likely Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrated on Thursdays. Starting that up because I've not played that game yet, and I want to, start playing that game, and I'll play it on stream. But anyway, that's the current plan, then this Saturday I'm going to do some kind of non-sports related podcast episode because I've been itching to do one for a while. I have no idea what it's going to be on, but I've just had various stuff get in the way and also just a little bit lazy here and there. But I promise I talk about things that are not sports here and there. So nice voice crack. Yeah, I swear I don't talk about sports sometimes on this on this podcast. So yeah, that'll be for Saturday. Anyway, that is all for this one. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.